Your name, your address, and your phone number are floating around the internet. Easy for strangers, scammers, and companies you've never heard of to find. Data brokers and shady databases collect and sell your private details to anyone willing to pay, putting you at risk of nonstop spam, scams, and fraud. You can't stop them from collecting data, but you can control who gets to keep it. That's why I use Incogni. They remove your private information from more than 420 of these sites automatically. And with their unlimited plan, you get total coverage. If you spot your personal details anywhere else online, just send them the link, and their privacy experts will get it taken down. It's the easiest, most complete way to protect yourself and personal life. Right now, you can lock in 60% off with my exclusive deal at privacykim.com. Go to privacykim.com right now and start protecting your privacy. This is so important. Privacykim.com. That's privacykim.com.
Welcome to the Kim Komando Show podcast for the weekend of November 30th, 2024. Here's hour one.
I always like to kick things off with something fun and super interesting, and this is a Facebook find out of New Jersey. This guy by the name of Robert, he's a huge baseball fan, and then he's on Facebook Marketplace, and it says it's a trunk of old baseball magazines. So he's like, yeah, maybe there's something good in here. So he gives the guy $75, and then you could say he totally hit it out of the ballpark. Oh my gosh, because when he opened up the trunk, he found magazines with legends like Mickey Mantle and Joe DiMaggio. But the real gems were some baseball cards from 1935, selling for like $35,000. $50,000. Wow. I'll tell you, baseball cards. People say that I'm so aggressive when I trade these baseball cards. And I say, The reason why is I'm just ruthless. Oh, yeah, that was a bad one, but I heard you groan, or maybe you're just hungry. And on that happy note, welcome. It's called the Kim Komando Show because, after all, it's the nation's largest show, the best show, the biggest show about all things digital. And you are about ready to get more tech smarts because every single thing is now a tech thing. And you need to be tech smart or you're going to be left tech behind in the digital dust. That's right. And you can find the Kim Komando Show on over 400 top stations throughout the United States. And of course, we're streaming in your favorite radio app. Just search for my last name, Komando. And you can also find the Kim Komando Show as a podcast. That's right. Wherever you get your podcast, just search for Komando with a K. And a big hello and salute goes out to all of our listeners, too, on the American Forces Network Radio. And just a quick reminder, I give out a lot of web addresses, a lot of promo codes. And in case you're looking for those money-saving deals, just drop by one spot, and that's Komando.com/sponsors. And of course, our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254. And let me tell you, T-Mobile's advanced 5G network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. Already, every single day, I just dive into so many different websites and sources to make sure that we both know what's going on. And here are some things that are happening right now that you need to know about. Like, for example, we're going to start with billionaires. Jeff Bezos, Peter Thiel, Sam Altman. They're not just dreaming about living forever. They're actually throwing a lot of money behind it. Sam Altman has invested $180 million into a startup that vows to extend human life by 10 years. That's $18 million a year. Peter Thiel is backing a foundation which is growing organs and blood vessels and even bones in the lab. Jeff Bezos, he dropped $3 billion to reverse aging. Let me tell you, if you look at pictures of that guy years ago, he looked like a total nerd. Now he's jacked. That's right. So speaking of longevity, we have to say goodbye to the world's oldest man, John Tillinswood. He passed away this past week at 112 years old. And when asked, how are you living so long? He said, pure luck. That's it. All right, moving on to number 2, let's talk about AI. Here's a noise that has never been heard before. Okay. All right. It's kind of different. It's a train morphing into an orchestra, and it's an example of what Vigato, that's NVIDIA's new AI audio tool, can do. It can completely create original audio, transform sounds, and so many people are like, what's going on? Now we have AI taking over the whole music industry. Voice actors are worried, of course, of losing their work, which, let me tell you, if you're a voice actor, you should be. And now musicians are saying, what's going on? In case you want to try it out, it's called Vigato. And then we're talking about Bitcoin. If you bought 10 Bitcoins in July of 2010 for just 5 cents, how much would they be worth? I don't know if you've noticed, but Bitcoin is just making this big surge right now. And by the way, you only want to invest in Bitcoin what you are prepared to lose, okay? Because this is called cryptocurrency. It's very much like putting money on the pass line there in a Vegas casino. And so here's the deal. The IRS is saying, oh, Bitcoin, we want our money too. The IRS treats crypto like stocks, meaning if you sell Bitcoin for a profit, you owe taxes. Hold it over a year, you're going to pay a lower rate. Sell it sooner, the taxes are higher. So back to those Bitcoins. If you spent 50 cents on 10 Bitcoins in 2010, it would be worth a cool $980,000. And because it's the holidays, let's talk about Porch Pirates. They are out in full steam ahead. But they've got a new shtick. What they're doing is actually hacking into FedEx and UPS accounts to find out when you're going to get those expensive deliveries. So if you have those accounts, make sure that you change all the passwords. And also if you're expecting an expensive delivery, what you want to do is check that box that says signature required. All right, coming up, there's a holiday decoration scam I need to warn you about. What's going on with the new holiday, Travel Tuesday? Yes. And of course, we have all of your phone calls, and you have me, Kim Komando. All right. You know, it is the holidays, and it's a time when we sit back and reflect on our loved ones. And as many of you know, I was so close to my mom. And so back in 2012, I invited her down to the studio on Thanksgiving Day. And I said, you know what? Let's just talk. Let me tell everybody how wonderful you are, how you were born in Brooklyn and you traveled the world with my dad, who is also an amazing person. You were one of the first inventors of the video phone. She also was one of the inventors of 411. I don't know if you remember that you used to be able to just get somebody's phone number. Tragically, she was diagnosed in 2017 with pancreatic cancer, stage 4. Yeah, she lived for about 4 years, and I miss her to this day. But I just want to share a conversation with her because she was amazing, and I've always missed her. But I just want you to hear how wonderful she was.
And you've heard me talk about her for many years. As a matter of fact, 16 years. So I thought it was about time to bring in my dear mother, Komando. Hi, Mom.
Hi, Kim.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you.
So what do you think about the setup?
And all your friends.
Did you have to bring everybody with you?
Yeah.
So what do you think?
About what?
I mean, all this is because of you, because you set me on a computer when I was 9 years old, and you said, play Hunt the Wumpus.
Hunt the Wumpus.
What do you think?
That was a good game.
And see, I should explain that you worked at Bell Labs,
right,
as a systems analyst.
We had Unix.
And so with Unix, it wasn't the easiest thing to use.
No.
And then you brought home these big teletype, remember those computers? Mm-hmm. And then I'd have to put the phone
on the modem.
On the modem.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about technology today?
It's amazing.
What's the most amazing part about it?
Well, I like that you can send a picture of something when you're out shopping and you don't know if the other person would like it. You just click a picture, or then you can take it home, see if it would fit in, and do all kinds of things.
See, I thought it was cool when you came over the other night. And you said, here, look at this picture. See about this hairstyle. And I was like, well, I don't know. And then you took a picture of Martha Teichner.
Right.
On 60 Minutes.
That was great, wasn't it?
It was.
And I took it to my beautician, and he did it. He modified it a little bit.
Well, you look like Martha Teichner. Absolutely. Well, I was telling her.
I was her with all her experience.
Well, isn't she amazing?
She
well,
is. She should write that book.
We should tell everybody we had a chance to meet her because she came over to the house because Sunday morning was doing a story on me and good stuff like that. And she was talking about being in Belfast, Ireland, with the starvation. I mean, that was she's got some amazing stories.
Amazing stories. She's going to put them in a book someday.
Oh, she should do that. Mm-hmm. So what I did is I went on Facebook. Mm-hmm. What do you think about Facebook?
I don't go on Facebook.
Why not?
Because I don't have enough time.
What do you mean you don't have enough time? You can connect with all the family members.
I connect with them anyway.
Well, you look beautiful.
Oh, God.
You really do.
Thank you.
You're
really... just saying that.
No, you do. You look beautiful. So I went on my Facebook account because, I have to do Facebook.
Yes.
And I told everybody that you were coming to join us.
Oh.
And so, you have phone calls.
I do.
Yeah. You got people, they don't want to talk to me. It's like, here, Kim's mom. So now you got to put on your headphones so this way you can hear the callers. This is like very high tech.
I'm a newbie, you know. At the
You mean you've never been on a national radio show before?
Never in my life.
Well, we have used you on the promos
Oh,
and on commercials. And so let's see. Let's start with Flo in Augusta, Georgia. Okay, so I'm going to hit the button. Flo's going to be joining us. Hi, Flo.
Hey, Kim.
How are you?
I'm good. I want to talk to your mama.
Okay, there she is. You got her.
how you doing, Flo? Merry Christmas.
You know what? Ever since Kim mentioned your sweet potato recipe, I've been wanting that recipe.
Oh, that's a great recipe.
Yeah, that's what I'm calling about. I want the recipe.
Okay, you take about 8 potatoes and you boil them till they're done. And then while they're warm, you can peel the skin off.
Yeah.
And then you put them in, I put them in that the electric beater.
Yeah.
And I put them in there, made them like mashed potatoes. And
Okay.
put a little butter in there and cinnamon.
Okay.
And then you put them in a baking pan, but you put Pam on the baking pan so they don't stick. And then you put in Jack Daniels.
Oh, that's the good part.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
How much Jack Daniels do they say to use, and how much should you use?
I don't know, but I don't measure. Until it smells good. You just put in the Jack Daniels and you let it bake for about 20 minutes. And it was great. We had turkey left over. We had stuffing left over. We had gravy left over. We
no
had
sugar in
no sweet potatoes left over.
There's no sugar in the sweet potatoes?
No, I don't put any sugar.
No sugar, okay.
Okay, just the Jack Daniels and the butter.
I think
But you can see how it comes out.
And I've been thinking about that ever since Kim mentioned it, and I thought, I need that recipe. And then she said your mom was going to be on, and so I was all excited to get to talk to you and learn your recipe.
I
So
thought
y'all have a
maybe
good holiday.
I thought you too, and I thought maybe you could put marshmallows on top when you put it in the oven, and if that baked in, I haven't tried it that way though.
I don't know about marshmallows and Jack Daniels. I mean, it's just marshmallow.
Too much of a good thing.
It's just like, throw in some chocolate while you're at it. I mean, let's see. And now look, I'm telling you got all these calls. Flo, thank you for your call and Merry Christmas to you.
Merry Christmas.
Let's see. We have Deanie in Elkland, Missouri. Hi, Deanie.
Hi.
Welcome.
To get to talk to both of you at the same time.
Oh, well, so nice of you to call us. Merry Christmas.
I just love seeing pictures of your mom and Ian together on Facebook. It is just precious.
Oh.
I posted that picture. Do you remember when we were in Scotland over the summer, Mom? Mm-hmm. And it was raining, and the two of you walked out on that platform where we were going to see the Highlands,
Yes.
and you had the umbrella behind you?
Yeah.
I posted that picture.
Oh.
I loved it.
That was a great time. It's good to spend time with him.
Yeah. My grandson just was born in March, so I'm looking forward to when he's walking and stuff, too.
Oh, that's great.
Hanging from the curtains.
I have 8 grandchildren,
Oh, my goodness.
but he's my youngest.
This may be the only one I have because my stepdaughter's 30, so...
Oh, okay.
Oh, you got plenty. She's got plenty of time.
Right.
Right.
Oh, they go to 47 now, 46, 47.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, her husband has 2 older daughters, so I think they've kind of got a house full.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Big commitment.
My husband is frugal. Kim would appreciate him, but he thinks computers should run, 6 to 10 years.
Oh, shouldn't they? Mine is at least 5 years old.
Well, I started counting up. I got my first computer in 1990, and I think I've only had either 6 or 7, and I'm still using 3 of them.
Wow.
Oh,
90.
yeah. If you do the the maintenance that you can do at home, they last.
Yeah, I do. I try to keep up with it, and the desktop is getting kind of slow, but it's like 6 years old. So.
Well, I'm not in a hurry. Are you?
No.
Although I will tell you what she told me recently, Deanie. I went over and I said, "Do you want anything from the market?" And she said, "Bananas, but don't buy the green ones because I don't know if I'll last that long."
There's no sense wasting money,
Well, since my husband is very frugal and I'm disabled and we're on a really fixed income, I really would love to have a tablet. But I really need an e-reader, and they're cheaper. But what if I waited and saved for a tablet? What in the way of an e-reader features am I going to give up? I'm 58. My eyes aren't what they used to be. And right now I'm trying to read The Great Gatsby on my Zune.
Oh, no, you can't do that. That screen's too small for you.
Well, you can enlarge it. It expands, but there's something about the screen just makes my eyes tired.
Well, it's because it's not using the e-ink technology.
Right.
And so, see, here's the deal, is that you have an e-reader that lets you read books. So you have the Kindle, the Nook. And, my preference is right now is still the Kindle because I think the technology's better.
Sure.
But how do you use your iPad, Mom?
Oh, it's great. Instead of putting on the big computer, I just use the iPad to check my my email and the financial information, and then if I want to go on and print out anything or send anything, then I go on the big computer.
But you also used it pretty uniquely when you went to Israel, as far as putting all your pictures and videos.
Oh, I did, yeah.
With the camera connector kit. So, so really your choice, Deanie, is that you have the iPad that lets you do a whole bunch of things versus the e-reader that just lets you pretty much read books. I mean, yeah, you can get on the web, you can get your email, but it does include all these really cool apps that you can play games, you can do your banking, you can check your Fidelity accounts and good stuff like that. So really the decision is, if you want something to read on, go buy yourself the $79 Kindle. If you want something that will do a little bit more, save the money and then get yourself a tablet PC. Deanie, thank you so much for your call. Mom, thank you for coming down.
Oh, thank you.
I love you so much.
I love you too.
You are so amazing. And
you're the amazing one.
No, yeah, you gave me everything. You taught me everything I know. You did.
No, not really.
Yes. But thanks for coming down. I know it's a little bit early for you, but you had your coffee, I can tell.
I had a cup and a half.
Okay, she's all right.
If you own a home, listen up. This is scary. The FBI is warning about a crime on the rise, home title theft. And it doesn't happen the way you might think. No break-ins, no stolen keys, just a forged signature on a single piece of paper filed with the county. In minutes, criminals can transfer the title out of your name, then use your ownership to drain your equity or even sell your home. The worst part, most people don't know what's happening until they get collection or foreclosure notices in the mail. That's why I trust Home Title Lock. When you visit HometitleLock.com/Kim, you'll get a free title history report and a 14-day free trial of their $1 million triple lock protection, including 24/7 monitoring of your home's title, urgent alerts to changes, and if fraud does happen. Their U.S.-based restoration team will work to restore your title, covering costs up to $1 million. Don't wait. Protect your home and equity today. Get your free 14-day trial at HometitleLock.com/Kim. That's HometitleLock.com/Kim. All right, coming up, I have a tip about holiday decoration scams that are just spreading like crazy that you need to know about. And then, of course, we have Black Friday. We know about that, and Cyber Monday. Well, now there's a new holiday coming up. It's called, are you ready for it? Travel Tuesday? Yeah. And they say that's when you're going to get the best deals on airfare ever. So I'm going to pass more about that. But before we get to all that, I don't know if you've noticed, but if you have a website, your traffic has been what? Tanking. Yes, all across the board. It's not just you. The traffic is going down because of artificial intelligence. Because why go to a website if you can just go to AI? But maybe you're wondering how your competitor's web traffic is faring with AI versus your traffic. Well, that's where you can go to a website called SimilarWeb.com. Once again, that's SimilarWeb.com. And what they will do is you just type in somebody's web address and it'll say like, oh, here's what's going on. Now, of course, they're going to give you something free. And of course, they're going to try to upsell you along the way. But you may not have to pay, okay? Maybe you just need just some basic information. Again, go to SimilarWeb.com. Father Andrew in Wyoming. Oh, my gosh, I haven't talked to you forever.
I know. It's because I've been busy.
So now you're the pastor of two small parishes. How many people are each one?
Yeah. So roughly, I was trying to think about that number. It's roughly 200 to 250 per parish. So definitely small. But the whole point was that I can be pastor of these two parishes, and then I'm going to start using my canon law degree to work with our local tribunal to process marriage annulments. So that's kind of the idea of putting me in these two little parishes. But the whole point, even with being here and calling into the show, isn't just to say hi, though. Although I'm very, very glad that I get to say hi to you again. But I'm wondering two kind of questions. One more big picture, and then one super specific. But big picture, I'd love to get your take on, especially like with all the AI stuff. If there's anything that's newer out there that I've sort of been oblivious to for the past couple of years that would help me as pastor reach more people in the tech world. I've got young people, old people, some people don't use cell phones, some only use email. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to make sure that we just got our website updated. I'm making sure that, the social media stuff is going. And we use a program called Flocknote where I can text.
Oh, good. I was going to mention that. That's good.
Email. Yeah. So I didn't know if, first of all, if there was anything there that I'm missing. And then second, more specific, like running two parishes in my head is kind of driving me a little bit crazy. So I wondered if there was any sort of automation software, task manager, or something that can help me either automate tasks that I have to duplicate because I'm doing, like I have to create a calendar for religious ed for one parish that I have to do for the other parish with slight modifications. But even just like trying to keep track of what each parish is doing,
it's a lot.
Sometimes I get them confused, and I'm like, I'm trying to not run around in circles in my own head. So
well, it's a lot. I mean, you've got a lot going on, Father Andrew. You do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, let's talk about AI first. Okay. What's interesting to me about AI is that sometimes it can be really great, and sometimes it can be pretty awful. Since we're on the topic of religion, I had asked Gemini from Google, what was the Bible verse that was in Charlie Brown's Christmas when Linus was telling Charlie Brown what Christmas was all about? And Gemini came back and said, I can't give you that information because it's too controversial. Okay.
Right.
Okay. And then it came back and it said, the Bible is copywritten.
Okay.
God's going to come down, right? He's going to file an injunction against me right now. Right this moment.
Right. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Okay. So ChatGPT is the one that I've been using, and they have a new modal. It's 4.0, and then they have another one that has more conversational in writing. And so that's where I wouldn't put you on the peripheral of AI. You could use Perplexity too. That will give you some sources. But I think it's really something that you can teach it to be you. And it's called, if I wrote about it a little bit in a newsletter, it's called My ChatGPT. So you can say, hey, I'm Father Andrew. This is what I'm about. This is what it is. And I own this. And these are this is where I'm coming from. And then as you train it, that's what it is. You have to keep training it. It'll get better. And every once in a while, let me tell you, it goes off the side rails. It does. Okay. And you're like, where did that come from? Right. So that's what I would do with that. Now, as far as setting up automations, you're all Mac. Look at shortcuts and seeing how you can do that. If you're using Google Calendar, you can always duplicate a calendar. And then you can also have it sent to two calendars at once. It just takes a while for you to set that up, but it's very, very intuitive, and it'll get that job done. And I'm so incredibly proud of you. I am. I've known you since you were just, 13, 14 years old, and now you're a priest with a canon law degree and 2 parishes. And don't be a stranger. Call me more often. And let me know. Come down to Phoenix. Come stay with us. You've done that a couple of times. You stayed at the house. So come on down and see us. And thanks for your call today, Father Andrew. All right. If you are still looking for like the ultimate holiday decorations, okay, and you're getting there online and you're thinking like, oh, I need that massive Santa for the front yard. I want that Rudolph, okay, whatever it may be. Just know that scammers are out there. So if you do see an ad for, say, that giant inflatable Santa, and you know the kids are going to love this, and then it's like the clock is ticking like, oh, we only have 12 left. This deal is only good for the next 22 minutes. And you're like, I better order it right now. Okay. Just know, unless you're on a reputable website, somebody's going to steal your credit card and you're never going to get your big inflatable Santa, and it's going to be a sad day. Okay, so if you are looking for legitimate Christmas decorations, only shop on legitimate sites and do not fall for those scammy Facebook and Instagram ads, because they don't vet anything. I mean, they just take the money. That's it. All right. Still to come, we have more of your phone calls as well as later on the new holiday, Travel Tuesday. What's all that about? I'll tell you here on the Kim Komando Show. All right. Let's see. Victoria in Los Angeles, California. Hi, Victoria.
Hi, Kim. How are you?
I am great. Thanks for asking.
Thank you for having me on the show. I was so surprised to hear back from you. I have a boyfriend who calls you the digital goddess. He listens to you every Saturday night at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as he drives back from San Clemente, where he sees his daughter and his grandson. And he heard almost a year ago about this garage door system that tells you whether or not your garage door is open. And he's got a townhouse, and the garages are in the back, and it's kind of a sensitive system, so he's always worried whether or not he leaves if the garage door goes back up. And he has been so kind and generous to me this year. I just wanted to get him what Kim Komando says is the right garage door opener, but I never thought I'd hear from you. So I went out and I bought this thing called Garage Door Minder, which is a wireless monitoring system, but it looks kind of cheap and cheerful.
Yeah, you don't want that.
Install in 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I bought him this thing called MyQ Smart Garage Camera.
That's the one that you want, the MyQ. That's the
MyQ.
Yes, you want the MyQ. It's a smart garage camera. I mean, who among us has not driven down the street wondering, oh, is the garage door closed? Okay, I mean, all of us have. Okay, and so with MyQ, what it has a built-in camera, so you can visually check the status. But there's a whole bunch more things that you can do. You can get alerts if anybody has opened it, if you've left it open. If somebody needs to get in the garage to drop something off, is that you can punch in a code in the app and then it would open the garage door automatically. You can also set it up so that your Amazon.com deliveries also go into your garage door too, as far as using the SmartQ, smart garage camera and the whole shebango. So what you need is the garage controller and then the camera, and then you can find bundles with both of them. But with that first one that you bought, just send that back. We don't need that.
Okay, send that back. Okay.
Yeah, so you just need the SmartQ, the smart garage controller, and
so I have to get the smart garage controller. So I have the smart garage controller.
Okay, good.
It says here, and then it says MyQ Smart Garage Camera.
Yeah, get that too. Get the two of them.
Is it complicated to set up?
No. If I can do it, you can do it. He can certainly do it. I mean, come on, Victoria. He's a smart man. He can do this. He can set it all up, and it'll be so easy to do. And I'll tell you what's also really sweet about this is that, in the unlikely event that the garage door does close, this happened to me. Closed the garage door, and then we were on our way to the airport in Santa Barbara, and all of a sudden I get a note that said the garage door was open. Well, I hit close, but then you know how every once in a while with something or someone or a rock or whatever will go in front of the sensor. And so actually, as it closed down, it went right back up. And so had we not had this SmartQ garage door opener, who knows? I mean, sometimes we're gone, a couple of days, weeks, whatever at a time, although we do always have house sitters and people drop by. So, they would have figured it out. But tell your boyfriend I said hello. And yes, you just need the camera at that point, Victoria, and thanks for your call. All right, let's see who's next. Rick in Indianapolis, Indiana.
Hi, the Digitally Challenged need your advice.
Oh, no. Here I am.
I hunt in a remote area in southern Indiana, sometimes with friends, sometimes by myself, and I have no cell service. If I had any kind of mishap, health-wise, or fell and broke a leg or something like that, no one would know where I'm at, and my family worries about me being where no one knows I'm at. So is there any relief in sight for me?
Yes, there is. There is. A couple of devices. What we're going to do is, because there's no cell coverage, is that you want to have like an emergency beacon. Now, keep that, will run off a satellite. Okay. If you have an iPhone 14 or greater, there is the SOS capability built in, but I think you're looking for something more than that.
Yes.
Okay, so with, for example, there's something called the Spot X. A friend of mine was embedded with all the troops in Afghanistan, and he was always worried about if something were to happen to him. He was one of the chief journalists for CBS News.
Sure.
And so what would happen is that, he'd come back, and, we've known each other for many years. And his wife called me. She's like, you got to do something, because I don't know if he's okay or not. Is there anything? So I sent him a Spot X satellite. It's about the size of a hockey puck. Okay. Does two-way messaging. And so every day at like 6 a.m., he would send out a notification like, hey, I'm alive. Everything's okay. Hey, I'm alive. Everything's okay. If there was something wrong, he could push a SOS button. It would send his longitude and latitude to the nearest emergency services, as well as his emergency contact list. Okay,
that's just what I need.
So it's called Spot X. Spot X. They have a competitor. In case you want to look at it, I don't know. I didn't really think that it was that much better, and so a lot more money. Is Garmin has something called the InReach Mini 2, but the Spot X versus the Garmin, I guess that Garmin, it may have additional features, but I think if all you're looking for is just a means of communication, a two-way messaging service, you don't need a smartphone, does location tracking, SOS. I think the device itself is under $100, and then maybe it's like $10 or $15 a month or something like that. But really effective device, so much so that I have a girlfriend of mine who likes to hike by herself. I'm not talking about just hiking. I'm talking about like Mount Fuji, Kilimanjaro, okay, going hiking in Nepal. And I was like, a couple of years ago, I'm like, just put this in your backpack just for me because, I love you. And Rick, thanks for your call. All right. So let me tell you, as you're out there spending all that money for the holidays and you're buying all these gifts, you might be sitting there saying, wherever am I going to get this kind of money to pay off my credit cards? Well, maybe I can help, not with that, but by giving you a $500 Amazon gift card. And so you can enter to win right now. Go to winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. No purchase required. And by the way, you will get a few issues of my free newsletter, which you're going to love, by the way. I mean, we have like a 99.3% positive rating. I mean, it's just amazing. But if you already get the newsletter, yes, you can still enter to win. You want to go to winfromkim.com. That's winfromkim.com. All right, Travel Tuesday. It is now an official holiday. It's the Tuesday after the Thanksgiving holiday. So here's your strategy for Travel Tuesday. Number one, look for off-season rates in places that just aren't very popular. Also, set up travel alerts ahead of time so you know exactly when the price drops. And you can do this on Google Flights, by the way. But just don't expect all the same number of discounts on Black Friday or Cyber Monday, at least for now. But if you are looking for deals, Travel Tuesday, use the official airline apps, the websites, and again, always check your prices over at Google Flights. And don't forget to enter to win at winfromkim.com.
Thanks for listening to The Kim Komando Show. Here's hour 2.
Hey, let me tell you something. Last March, a guy by the name of Jacob Dalby and his dog by the name of Uller, they got caught in an avalanche near Marble, Colorado. Now, Jacob was seriously hurt. He had to go through surgeries and he had severe frostbite. Now, during all this was happening, his dog, Uller, just disappeared. But Jacob never gave up hope. He put up trail cams all around where he thought the dog would be. And then just last week, 341 days since the avalanche, guess what happened? He spotted the dog on the trail cam. Wow. And so now he's setting up trackers to help find the dog, and he's like putting out treats and anything else he can try to get his beloved dog back. And I started thinking about it. Erler's kind of, I don't know, it's not the best dog name. I mean, my dog's name is Abby. She's adorable. She looks like an Abby. She's a lovely 90-pound golden retriever. Yeah, she's huge. But if he had named Erler Will Smith, then he could have found him in the snow with his Fresh Prince. Oh, yeah. I'm Kim Commando, America's Digital Goddess, here with you once again. It's the best show. It's the biggest show. It's the most trusted show about all things digital. We're so glad that you're joining us. And if you're joining us on network radio on one of the 420 stations from coast to coast, so glad that you're doing that. And just a quick reminder, you can get the Kim Commando Show commercial free as a podcast in Apple Podcasts and on Spotify. And a special shout out goes to all of our listeners on the American Forces Network Radio, talking about servicemen and women in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force in 177 different countries. And I know that you have a few questions about something digital I can help you with. And that's why our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And just a quick reminder, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to help me out. Okay, just one thing. Just tell one person. That's it. Tell one person about the Kim Commando Show. That's all. Most people tell three. I'm just letting you know. But if you just told one person, I'd be really, really happy with that. All right. I really love what I do. I hope it comes across. And every single day, I just go through this whole list of websites. Bing, 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 bing. I even head out to some Reddit groups that I think might have something interesting going on. And the quest for knowledge is so that I can impart what's happening in my brain into your brain, so that this way, when somebody talks about technology, you're like, I knew that. Or you can say, did you know that? And you're going to sound so smart. And here are the top 5 things you need to know that's happening in tech right now. And we're going to start with Apple. Apple doesn't have a lot of failures, do they? I mean, a lot of people are talking about the Vision Pro headset, $4,000. It's giving me a headache. It's too bulky. It's hurting my neck. I mean, I spent $4,000 and it doesn't really do anything. So if you were thinking about the Apple Vision Pro, just wait for the Apple Vision Pro 2, because maybe we'll have more going for it. But there's another project that they have spent $10 billion on. Wow, think about that. They spent $10 billion and they're just scraping it. It's Project Titan. Any idea what it might be? Come on, make a guess. Any idea? Okay. After hiring 2,000 people R&D, it was the Apple official EV. That's right. And Apple says, we're not getting in the car business right now. We are going for AI instead of EV. Because Apple say that's where our biggest financial gain will be, like everybody else. Moving on to number 2, how'd you like to make some extra money? The Amazon Influencer Program, 37% of Amazon traffic is driven by influencers. But is it really worth the money? Is it worth the time? See, back in 2017, Apple started paying folks to promote products through social media, newsletters, you name it, and especially videos posted directly onto Amazon. And not just anyone can do this. You have to submit your social media accounts. You got to submit 3 test videos. And then once you get the green light, then you can start making commissions on your videos. So here's the bottom line. A woman in a Washington Post story said that she filmed 2,200 videos. Okay, 2,200 videos. And she made, ready for it? Drum roll, please. Ready? $14,000. Oh, $14,000. For 2,200 videos. I mean, let's say it took her a half hour to do each one, which is unrealistic. It's going to take longer than that. She made $6.50 each. Okay. So if you think you're going to get rich by being an Amazon influencer, not so much. Number 3, your video doorbell. Let me tell you what's going on with that. Consumer Reports dug into the video doorbell marketplace, and they found this Chinese company by the name of Eken. That's E-K-E-N. And then they also sell this camera under other brands like Tuck and Fishbot and RakeBlue. And as it turns out, your privacy is totally at risk. The issue is with the app called AI Wit, which is used to control the video doorbells. Now, despite being downloaded over 1 million times, yes, I said 1 million times on Google Play, The app has absolutely no encryption. Oh, God. Consumers Reports managed to hack into the video doorbell and spy on a colleague from 3,000 miles away. The doorbells don't hide your home's IP address or Wi-Fi network, so someone could just take control of your doorbell by downloading the app and then connecting the doorbell to their phone. How nice is that? Just by holding down the serial number for 8 seconds, someone can pair their account with the Awit smartphone app. So just keep in mind, these doorbells are being sold for $30-$40. Just not worth it, folks, especially if you start seeing them for sale on TikTok. Just say no. Coming in at number 4, let's talk about your kiddos. Snapchat, Discord, and Instagram. A kid between the ages of 11 and 17 will receive more than 225 notifications and messages every single day. Wow, think about that. 225 notifications, messages. All right, teachers around the country are like, okay, I'm so done with this. One teacher in Maryland told the Associated Press that students are also using gambling apps to place bets during school. Others are watching Netflix during class. So around the country, educators and experts are saying there's just one solution. We need to ban the phones during school altogether. Last year, Florida was the first state to pass a law banning student cell phone use during class time. Other states are about to do the same. Parents are kind of split. I want to have the security and that feeling that my kid's okay if they have a phone, but maybe they shouldn't have it during class. So just look for this happening in your kiddo's school. Some point soon, if they haven't already, that they're going to be taking the phones and maybe put them in a Faraday box or something like that during the day. And number 5, what would happen if you went to a vending machine on a college campus and you just wanted like a Snickers bar or M&Ms, and then it's suddenly like, wow, is there a camera in there? Yes, as it turns out. At the University of Waterloo, students stumbled upon a rather odd error message on a vending machine screen. It said, facial recognition application error. Okay, why would a candy vending machine want to use facial rec? Okay, so a student journalist decided to dig a little deeper into this and discovered that the vending machines owned by Mars were made by a company called Invenda Group. And Invenda says that their machines, they don't store any images or personal data, but they do collect some information, detecting the presence of a person. And then dug a little deeper into that, and the university said, we don't want these on our campus. Good call. All right, coming up, the secret about fast chargers that no one wants you to know, but you need to know, so I'm going to tell you why it's time to stop mailing checks. We're going to talk a little bit about Google Translate and how you also need to stop sharing your phone number with everybody out there under the sun, and add to that all of your great phone calls and me, Kim Komando. All right, how about we start our phone calls with Paige in Indianapolis?
So my teenage son has obstructive sleep apnea, and he uses a CPAP at night, and we also have him wear a pulse oximeter that gives us tons of data. But we're wanting to record his sleep through the night so we can also see his movements, how much he's rolling around, are his eyes open, are there lights and sounds and things that are bothering him that we aren't aware of. So I'm trying to find a device, a security system, something that will continuously record his sleep. Now, when I've looked at security systems, it seems that most are motion activated, and you can't really do 8 to 12 hours at a time. So I was hoping you had a recommendation.
There are just tons of indoor security cameras that are available. And then, of course, you're probably going to want to mount it above his bed so you can just look down. And there's one, we'll send you a link to this particular one. It's called Reolink. And our IT genius, John, loves the Reolink cameras. He does. So I'm like, okay, John, it's 5 megapixels. So this way you can, you'll be able to zoom in on things in case you wanted to, take a closer look at how he's positioned himself, where his mouth is on his side or whatever it may be. Have you thought about also maybe putting something like a sleep tracking pad under his mattress?
I have read about those, and I have not tried those, but the concept is interesting.
Yeah, because I think that would be something that might be more comfortable for him than having something on his finger. Okay. But I know that's important because you're measuring his O2 level, I'm sure.
Right.
But the company,
his heart rate.
Yes, his heart rate. His the company that makes the one I'm thinking of is called Y Things. It's WI Things, Y Things. It's called Y Things Sleep. It's about $130. and it will keep track of sleep cycles, and it will track breathing disturbances. And it also can track the heart rate continuously all night. It's not going to do that O2, but you'll be able to maybe cross-reference what the CPAP machine is reporting and what you're seeing in the video to maybe just have another piece of data. So that this way you can say, okay, well, it's all pointing here, so at this particular moment, this is when we had something. And that might even be interesting too, because then you might be able to just look at the Why Things Sleep app. And then because it's time stamped, is that you'll be able to pull that particular part of the video. So instead of looking at the video all night, that you'll be able to just to kind of tap into that. And thanks for your call today. Tech is so great in these situations. All right, let's see. Gene in Rapid City, South Dakota. You're up next. Hi there, Gene.
Well, I had a quick question. It is regarding the T-Mobile hub.
Okay.
My wife and I travel around the country. We both have been working remote using our hub, and it has been brought up to me by my employer that the T-Mobile hub is not a secured site for customer information and files and things to be used. And it does work on G5, which is kind of confusing to me. I would think G5 would be just as good as being connected, to a cable company.
Well, 5G is a cellular network, right? And the risks are similar to any type of other connection, meaning that there could be hacking attempts, unauthorized access, things along that line. The data is transmitted encrypted. So you do have a level of security on your internet activities. But if you are looking to put an extra layer on top of that, that's when you start looking at a VPN.
Okay.
Why did they say it wasn't secure?
They just don't feel it's secure. They want you to have, a house and connected through a cable company, like Comcast. Something like that, which I was at one point, but we've gone mobile and it's becoming an issue based on security.
Well, then I would tell them that you're going to put a VPN on it because this will encrypt the internet traffic, make it more secure, harder for third parties to step in and take a look at everything that you're doing. Also, assure your employer that all your devices are always updated. And we use strong passwords. We have good internet security software. We're smart. We're not going to be sitting here on a public Wi-Fi network, doing customer data. And as far as VPNs, don't use a free VPN. Stress that. Because VPNs, they're free. Why? Because they're collecting all your data. A lot of people don't realize that. It's like, okay, I have a free VPN. I don't have to pay for that. And it's coming out of China.
It's free.
Yes. Great. Good for you. That's awesome. Some places where we want to save money, that's not one of them. Okay.
Exactly.
So, of course, the official VPN of the show is ExpressVPN. I've used it for years myself. And it is truly easy to set up and will work on the hotspot. And so anything that's connected will be protected. And you get 3 months free if you go to expressvpn.com/Kim, expressvpn.com/Kim. And it's not going to slow you down. I know a lot of people are like, you've been in IT for a while, like VPNs are like, oh gosh, no, right? It's like, don't make me use a VPN ever. No, it's really not that way anymore. They've figured out how to make sure that you are protected without just slowing you down to molasses like it used to be years ago. Once again, ExpressVPN, they are a sponsor. Just full disclosure, as I mentioned, expressvpn.com/Kim. Gene, thank you for your call. All right, let's talk about fast chargers for just a second. Can you use any charger with your smartphone or tablet as long as it has the right port connector? Well, what's the answer? It's true. You can use any charger as long as it fits and it works, but whether you should is the real question, because if you head on Amazon, let me tell you, you just see tons and tons of chargers that claim to take a battery from 0 to 100 faster than any charger that came with the device. Now, a lot of times, what they don't want you to know is that these chargers are not going to do it any faster. I mean, here's an example. An iPhone 13 Pro Max. It's a little older one. It supports up to 27 watts, and that's pretty fast. If you connect a 40-watt charger to the iPhone, it's still only going to charge as fast as the phone supports, which is 27 watts. So you think, 40 is going to be great. No, it's only going to do 27. All right, stay right where you are. We have more of the show coming up. In our Tech Life Upgrade tip, we're going to talk about how you could use Google Translate for real-time conversations. This is like futuristic Star Trek stuff, I'm telling you, and we have it right here today. Later on, some great ways that you can stop sharing your phone number with everyone, because who wants that? And before we get back to all of your phone calls and more, do you still mail checks? Well, now's the time to go paperless, because check fraud is just exploding. It's doubled within the last year. And I know you might be writing fewer checks, but also what's happening is that the amount of checks that people are writing, that's actually increasing. The current average check amount clocks in, drum roll, at $2,600. So that's enough for a criminal to want to go through your mailbox and steal your mail or your identity. They're looking for envelopes that look like checks being mailed or bill payments. So you have to play it safe. If you really need to write a check, use a security pen. It's also known as a check washing pen. We have links to them at komando.com, and they really do work. And just head over to the website, just type in check washing pen. They have specially formulated ink that gets totally trapped in the check's paper, making it difficult for criminals to wash or erase what you have on there. Also got to be smart. Monitor your accounts, be protective of your checking account, your bank number, and always, right, secure your mailbox. And don't be that person. I'm just going to put it right out here with the mailbox, put the flag up so that this way the mail person knows that I got mail on the inside and they're going to take it from me. No, actually drop your checks inside of a mailbox. Always, always, always. All right. Kim Komando today is our new audio and video podcast. If you haven't checked it out, let me tell you, we have reinvented ourselves because, as you know, I say this all the time, if you don't innovate, you what? You evaporate. So it was about 6 weeks ago that we rolled out a brand new Kim Komando Today podcast. So it's me, Andrew Babinski. You may remember him. He was with the show so many years ago, and he's back. And, of course, our very own amazing content queen, Ali Seligman, joins us as well. And every single day, it's a solid 30 minutes of just fun and tech know-how. I mean, you're going to walk away laughing. So if you're sitting there all grum and not happy and grumpy and whatever it may be, I want you Monday through Friday, head over to Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, X, /Kim Komando. Monday through Friday, as I said, 10:30 a.m. on the West Coast, which is 1:30 p.m. on the East Coast. And this past week, I had a chance to speak to a really interesting Harvard scientist about aliens and the Pacific Ocean. Here, take a listen.
He's the director of the Institute for Theory and Computation at the Center of Astrophysics at Harvard. So tell us what you found in the South Pacific.
Well, this was an object that collided with Earth, roughly the size of a watermelon, and was spotted by U.S. government satellites a decade ago on January 2014. What was unusual about it is that it was moving very fast, and in fact, so fast that it was unbound to the sun, was not bound by gravity to the solar system, so it came from outside. And even outside the solar system, it was moving faster than 95% of the stars near the sun. And moreover, it disintegrated only in the lower atmosphere of the Earth, so it was able to sustain very extreme stress. It was tougher than even iron meteorites, made of iron. And so the question was, in my mind, was it a Voyager-like meteor? Imagine our own spacecraft crashing into another planet like the Earth. It would appear as a meteor of an unusual material strength and unusual speed. And so to find out, I decided to lead an expedition to the Pacific Ocean where it landed and search for any materials left from it. And we recovered about 850 molten droplets on the ocean floor at a depth of about a mile across a region of 7 miles.
Were the items, the objects that you found in the spherical shape because they were so hot when they were traveling and
Good
then
question.
when they hit the water, they made that shape. It's not how they were composed prior to the destruction, correct?
That's right. So this object, when it exploded as a result of its friction with air, it produced a few percent of the Hiroshima atomic bomb energy. So as a result of this fireball that was created around it, the surface of the object melted. And the droplets that melting produced rained down, just like raindrops. If you were there at the time and if you were to use an umbrella to protect yourself, it wouldn't help you because these were drops of molten iron.
So where do you think it came from?
From another star. And the question is which star and how to figure out where it came from. There is a very simple recipe for that, and I thought about it on the deck of the ship. Silver Star, that was its name, very fitting. When we were there in June 2023 in the Pacific Ocean, the trick is that we know the velocity of this object when it entered the solar system. We know how fast it was moving and from which direction it was coming. And so all we need to do is figure out the duration of the journey. And for that, we can use isotopes that are used as clocks to date the age of materials. And so if we, in the future, after retrieving bigger pieces, if we can figure out the age of the material and we know the velocity that it came with, then we can go back in time and find the source where it came from.
We had the opportunity to speak to another scientist. He's actually trying to set up computer backups on the moon.
Yeah, that's actually I wrote about such an initiative because, we might destroy the one planet that we live on. And then if someone wants to reboot our civilization, they need to have a record. And so it would be a good idea to keep something on the moon.
It's going to be a lot.
In fact, I would be happy to take a one-way trip, to space at this stage of my life.
I say the same exact thing. Just put me on a ship and let's just go. And just go forever until I die, so at least I know what's out there.
Yeah, my wife said that if I do that, I should make sure that I leave the car keys with her.
She's a smart woman. So, Doctor, what do you think is out there? I mean, if you had all the money to do all the research and all the time, do you have any indication of what you would expect to find?
Well, I think it's better than imagining a date on Earth. When you go out on a date with a human, you can pretty much imagine that this human has 2 eyes, 2 ears, because that human shares your DNA. But when you meet something from, far away from another star, it could be far more superior to us. We may not have the imagination to expect what we would find. And therefore, I go out to this date without expecting anything because I expect much more than I can imagine. And it would be, awe-inspiring. We might see miracles, because they are much more advanced than we are. Imagine just Moses in the Old Testament seeing the burning bush that was never consumed. Today you can buy online a burning bush that will never be consumed that would impress Moses. Moses believed in God, as a result of seeing that. And my point is that if I were next to him with infrared cameras, I could advise him whether it's a technological civilization that made the bush that he's looking at. So a very advanced civilization is a good approximation to God. And it would have a huge impact on our future. It will inspire us to do better, not to just think about the fact that we kill each other in wars and, so that makes so little sense because we live for such a short time. Why shorten it, And so we are not behaving very intelligently. And perhaps, if we find a package in our mailbox, it will inspire us to do better. That's really my hope.
Now, how come there's a bunch of scientists that don't believe you? Did you tick off a scientist at scientist school or something?
School.
This upsets people. They say, well, it's an extraordinary claim to consider the possibility that we are not alone. And Elon Musk says, there is no evidence. I haven't seen aliens. Therefore, we have a responsibility to go to Mars. He just said that a month ago at a speech that he gave for Starship 2024. And I say, well, that is the wrong attitude, because you really have to seek evidence.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
If we didn't invest $10 billion in the Large Hadron Collider at CERN, we wouldn't discover the Higgs boson. If we haven't invested $10 billion in the Webb telescope, we wouldn't see the first stars and galaxies. So you really need to put an effort, and that's what I'm trying to do. But many people have an opinion, and it bothers them. It bothers them that I'm seeking evidence even about the meteor. There were people saying you will not find anything. And when I found something, they said you didn't find anything. And when I said it's from outside of the solar system, they said it's coal ash.
Yeah, we read
and then
that.
we looked at 55 elements from the periodic table demonstrating that it's coal ash. I believe in following common sense, but common sense is not common.
Again, that's Kim Komando Today. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can search for Kim Komando Today. Or if you're on any of the video streamers, whether it's Facebook, YouTube, Rumble, X, you name it, as well as on Twitch, we're always at Kim Komando or /Kim Komando. Again, that's Monday through Friday. Love for you to be there live or on demand. Totally up to you. Alrighty, ever need to talk to someone when you just aren't speaking the same language? No worries. That's where you want to use Google Translate, real-time translation. This is great if you're going on a trip to a foreign country, you want to talk to the locals. Here's what you need to do. You download the Google Translate app, available on both iPhone and Android. And once you're in, you hit the conversation button. You're going to see 2 mics for different languages. Tap the mic for your language and then say something. And then Google Translate will repeat it in the other language. And then flip it. The other person speaks, the app translates it back to you in real time. Right now, it can handle conversations in 8 languages, English, French, German, Hindi, Portuguese, Russian, and Thai. Little advice for you. Try to find a quiet spot when you actually use it. Google Translate's smart, but it's a lot better when there's not a lot of noise in the background. All right, we have some more of your phone calls coming up, as well as a great tip about how to stop sharing your phone number with everyone. Silly, you don't want to do that here on the Kim Komando Show. Linda in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Hi there, Linda.
Actually, I was calling to get a recommendation from you in regards to purchasing a new phone. I currently have an iPhone 7. It is dying. It's less than 80% a day. I'm charging constantly. I've probably had it about 5 years. Mm-hmm. The thing is, I would like to stay with an iPhone, but when I walk into those stores, it is absolutely overwhelming to me.
It can be. It really can be.
I don't think I need the latest and the greatest, to be honest. I mean, I use my phone, but I'm not a teenager that has it in my pocket 24/7. So I really was just looking for a recommendation of a phone that would be serviceable, usable for texting, phoning, some pictures. And that's basically it.
Do you want to stay? You want to stay with an iPhone?
I would. I'm more comfortable with that. Okay. I've had others. I just didn't like them as well.
Yeah, I know. That's what everybody says. They do. It's like, I tried a Google Pixel. I tried, some type of Samsung or Motorola or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. All right. So this iPhone 7, it is dead, Jim. Okay. You haven't gotten any new software updates since June 6th of last year. So what that means is when you stop getting software updates, that means that you're vulnerable to security breaches and hackers and scammers and things like that. So we don't want to use that anymore. Mm-hmm. But you are the type of gal, I can tell, who's really bummed that you got rid of all your jeans in the 80s and 90s because they are back in style, right?
For sure.
Okay. So because you keep your phone a long time, and you don't need all the latest and greatest, but we don't want you to go down that I buy a phone and then a year and a half later it's not supported anymore rabbit hole either, because that's just wasting money. So because you tend to keep your goods for 5 years or so, this is a trend, is that if you were to get an iPhone 13, it will be in service until 2028. Okay. And so you may be able to trade this iPhone 7 in. Not sure who your carrier is or where you're going for your phones. But I would look at an iPhone 13. It's got a faster chipset. It's got a 48 megapixel camera. The screen's going to be bigger if you want. They have the iPhone 13 Pro, and they also have a mini. by the way. So if you want a smaller phone, you could get that.
Okay.
But I would take a look at the iPhone 13, knowing that we are on the iPhone 15 right now, but there are deals that are happening on the 13 and the 14. I wouldn't get the 12, okay? Because I think you're going to be kicking yourself a couple of years from now saying, darn it, now I got to go out and get a new phone again, right? Because it's not supported.
Right.
Okay. So take a look at the iPhone 13 and then the iPhone 14 and let price decide for you. Okay. Because they're about the same specifications. You have something called the Dynamic Island. Like I said, it's got a faster chipset. The screen's bigger. You've got better cameras, front facing, all that other good stuff. But I think that would be, that's where I would point your ship right now. Go to the 13 or 14. If you need any help afterwards, I'm right here for you, Linda. And thank you for your call. You really want to keep your phone number close to you now, especially because of two-factor authentication and all the leaked passwords out there. And there's a clever way to get a second phone number to use, like if you're dating, if you're selling something online, if you're shopping, social media, whatever. Now, best of all, it doesn't mean that you need to carry another phone, because who wants to do that? No one. You can use an app on your existing phone for a second line. And when that second line rings, it's going to come through the app, so you actually know which line that the caller used. Now, you can use this for just a short time or keep it long term. Now, the best way is to use Google Voice. I have a Google Voice number on my phone. And so anytime somebody wants my phone number, I'm like, an awkward thing like, ooh, is that I give them my Google Voice number. It's free, works for both domestic and international phone calls and texts, and also voicemails. Now, you could use a burner app, but I don't know if you want to do that. Just get Google Voice. It's just a heck of a lot easier. Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget, tell a few folks about the Kim Komando Show and sign up for my free newsletter right now over at getkim.com.
Thank you for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's hour 3.
Okay, this is just a crazy story. A hacker in Oklahoma, a guy by the name of Evan James Coker, he hacked a government site to buy cars and jewelry for just $1 each. What? When he would win an auction, he'd have to go pay for whatever he got over at the website pay.gov. Well, when he was there, he somehow figured out how to change his winning bid into $1. And so he bought a 2010 Ford Escape, a Chevy truck, all kinds of other things, amounting to like $150,000 in losses for the government. So, of course, now they arrested him, and I bet he's going to be just heading off to jail into the sunset for a while. And when he gets out, you know what? He'll be Oklahomeless. Yes. Hey, listen, you're about ready to get more tech smarts, because every single thing is now a tech thing. I'm, of course, Kim Komando, and you've tapped into the best show, the biggest show, the most trusted show about all things digital. You can find us on over 420 top stations across the United States, and you can find us as a podcast, as a webcast, commercial-free, over as part of the Komando Community membership. That's Komando.com, and hit that button that says Komando Community. And if you ever want to support things that we do, just go ahead, be a Komando Community member. And you can also find the Kim Komando Show, commercial-free, in Apple Podcasts, as well as on Spotify. Just search for Kim Komando Show. Not Kim Komando Today, Kim Komando Show. And a huge hello goes out to all of our listeners in the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, the Coast Guard, and the Space Force, in 175 different countries who are joining us on the American Forces Network Radio, serving more than 375,000 American servicemen and women. And I know that you have at least 1 or 2 or 3 questions about something digital that I can lend a hand to. And that's why our T-Mobile Unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. All right, every single day, you know the drill. You can count on me, because I'm going to make sure that you and I are both up to date on what's going on in the entire tech universe. I visit at least 35 or 40 different websites, and people have said to me, can AI do this? It could save you a whole bunch of time. Nope, AI can't do it. It's me, folks. So let's get started with the top 5 things you need to know right now. You might remember last spring I interviewed a gal by the name of Rosanna Ramos. She's a 36-year-old Bronx mother of 2 who said she was in love with her AI husband, Aaron. That's right. Everything she ever wanted. Handsome, caring, just wonderful. She built Aaron with an app. Now, this story may be even a little stranger. A woman by the name of Alicia Framis is going to marry her holographic partner, Alex, this summer. Alex was trained on the background of all her previous boyfriends, just the good stuff. And what does she have planned for the big day? She's getting married. That's right, to her holographic partner. Molecular food that can be enjoyed by both humans, she says, and humanoid entities. She's going to make clothing for all of her guests. She says that AI companions and humans can be a beneficial option for people in need of companionship. She actually said, this hologram will fulfill all of my needs. Whoa, wow. Strange, right? What about physical intimacy? What a world. Crazy. Speaking of number 2, people always ask me what's coming soon that's going to change this world. And I ran across a story at Reader's Digest that kind of points us into some directions. Like, for example, infection after surgery occurs in 1 out of every 10 patients. Genius high schooler created a special suture that changes color when an infection is present. Wow, that's pretty amazing. Next one, imagine a closet full of clothes, but only a few pieces. Researchers at MIT have made smart material that shape shifts when exposed to water, heat, or light. It's 4D clothing that can be lengthened, folded, bent on command. It can also do everything from changing colors to releasing microdoses of medications. Wow, okay. Finally, a professor at Purdue created a special white paint that reflects sunlight back into the atmosphere. It reduces a roof's temperature by up to 8 degrees during the day, and air conditioner use by 40%. Dang, I need that here in Phoenix, Arizona. Moving on to number 3, fraudsters don't care about any of us. There's a big trend that's happening on Facebook right now. We're talking about fake funeral live streams. What? Yeah. You're going to get a notice on your Facebook feed that says so-and-so died, and we're going to be live streaming his funeral, and we want you to attend. And you're like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know he passed away. How come I didn't know? Totally bogus. But you're like, so upset. You go there, and then it looks like a live stream of a funeral. It's a closed casket, so you don't know if the guy's in there or not. And then suddenly all these buttons that say, would you like to donate money? Okay, call your friend up, find out if he's alive or dead. And Facebook, they say they're doing their best, but they can't make it stop. Of course not. They just don't care. Moving on to number 4, about 15 years ago, Waymo started off as Google's big dream to make cars drive themselves. And now you see these cars all around Phoenix. They actually just banned them from San Francisco, I think. And they've been recalling cars left and right. But now we have a new type of self-driving vehicle. You ready? Wisk. It's a Boeing-backed startup that's calling itself the Waymo of the skies. By the end of this decade, Wisk says they're going to have flying taxis. We've been talking about this forever, haven't we? They're going to cruise between 2,500 and 4,000 feet up in the air, distances of 90 miles, fly at speeds to 110, 120 knots, 15 minutes just to charge up. They still haven't got the thumbs up from the FAA. They still haven't gotten it. So what about the aircrafts? I thought this was interesting. It's going to be monitored by folks on the ground. But what if the software fails mid-flight? What if somebody loses track of the aircraft? What if terrorists start using Wisk for harm? A lot of what ifs. This is why we don't have flying cars. This is why we keep saying every year, we're going to get flying cars next year. We just don't get them. We just don't get them. There's too many things. And finally, this, coming in at number 5, 300 times a day per patient. What could that number mean? 300 times a day per patient. The patient is the clue. That's how often alarms can sound in hospitals. But only a small fraction of them actually need attention. And what happens with the staff, and you've seen it and I've seen it, is that they get alarm fatigue. It's like the constant beeping. They just walk over and keep hitting that button to turn the alarm off. Over a period of 5.5 years, this issue has been linked to 566 deaths in the United States. So that's alarming. So what is a quick fix? Well, now what we're going to start hearing in hospitals are musical alarms. That's right. So instead of just going womp, 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 it's going to go like ding, 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 ding. Okay, and so that this way it'll actually attract more attention. So if you've ever wondered why a ringtone is musical, research. This is the answer. You know, speaking of, I use my cell phone as an alarm clock. I call it Verizon Shine. Oh, yeah, I know, even though I have T-Mobile. All righty then. Let me tell you, I hate to break it to you, but we're not getting any younger. I know, it's sad. But that's why you need to add collagen to your diet. It is truly a powerhouse packed with protein and scientifically proven to help with bone health, tissue recovery, and it even smooths out wrinkles and thickens hair and strengthens weak or damaged nails. Because as we age, our collagen levels drop. That's where Native Path comes in. Their collagen formula is designed for quick absorption, making a difference you can feel and see. Plus, let me tell you, it's as pure as it gets. One single ingredient. No GMOs, no fillers, no gluten, no dairy, or any of that extra stuff. So forget those horse-sized pills. With Native Path, it's so easy to add it to your routine. Just mix it into your coffee, your tea, your smoothie, your oatmeal, whatever you want. No clumps and none of that funky taste. You know what I'm talking about. And right now, as the Kim Komando listeners, you get 45% off with free shipping. Just go to getnativepath.com/Kim. That's getnativepath.com/Kim. Getnativepath.com/Kim. All right. Coming up, we have the real price of those grocery store discounts to tell you about. Also, how to get automatic car recall notifications. And Ali Seligman, our amazing content queen, is going to be joining us. And we're going to be talking about email mistakes that we don't want you to make. And of course, we have more of your phone calls. And you have me, Kim Komando. All right, Lori in Providencetown, Massachusetts. Glad to have you on board with us, Lori.
I'm calling because, let's see, over the last few years, my eyesight has kind of been getting worse in different ways. I do picture framing for a living, and as a hobby, I play music in a few different bands. And, I'm looking to kind of make it easier to read music because, I'm having some trouble right now. Sometimes it looks foggy and, you got to really be able to see, the sharps and flats and all that kind of stuff.
Of course, yes.
So I know that there's someone in one of the bands who has like a laptop that and he has the music on digital files and, he feels it's easier to read and he can scroll through it. And, so I'm thinking too, when I look at like I have Apple devices, but I have like an iPhone and my laptop. And particularly, on some occasions, it's nice to have the white on black option,
sure.
but then sometimes the other way is good too. Mm-hmm. But I'm just wondering if you have any recommendations for, some type of something I could get that I could do that with.
Well, it's interesting. I was getting my nails done yesterday. Mm-hmm. And I looked at the manicurist next to me and I said, "What's wrong with your eyes?" And she looked at me, she goes, "What do you mean?" I said, I said, "What's wrong with your eyes?" And she's like, "I've done nails for 30 years and nobody has ever said or asked me what's wrong with my eyes."
Huh.
And I said, I can see it. I said, "I can see it." And she said, "Yeah." She goes, "I'm blind in my right eye."
Oh.
And I said, "Really?" I said, "I used to be too." And I said, "What happened to you?" And she said, "I was struck in the eye as a kid with a pencil." And I said, "I was struck in the eye with a stick when I was a kid."
Oh boy.
And so anyway, we just struck up this conversation and I convinced her. She hadn't had her eyes checked, would you believe, for over 20 years.
Oh my God. Wow.
And there are so many new advances. And then I showed her my Instagram account and I said, "Look, I had a cornea transplant in May. And in May, my eyesight in my right eye was over 2400. We just stopped at 2400. And as of last week, after the transplant, is that I can see 20/60 right now, but I still have 10 stitches in my eye. And the doctor said, my vision potential is 20/25.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
That is interesting you say that because one of the things going on with me is that I have Fuchs disease, and what is in the future, it seems, is to have, as you say, it's a corneal transplant. Some of the tissue So, yeah, I guess I've got that coming. But, well, so that's good to hear, the good result you're having with it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. 100%. But it's my point being that, a lot of things you take for granted and then you're like, whoa, like what happened?
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah.
So you can certainly use a laptop like your friend, especially if you prefer a larger screen. But it's not as convenient to hold it as it is to say if you could get an iPad, 12.9 inch, and then put that on a stand. And what's nice is with the iPad is that you're going to have a sheet music digitally, and you can use apps like Fourscore, Mobile Sheets, or Newsik is another really popular one. But then you could have a foot pedal that works by Bluetooth with the tablet, and then you can go to the next page just by tapping your foot.
Yeah. I heard there was something like that.
Yeah, it's so cool. It's so great. Then you have adjustable fonts and zooms and, battery life. So depending upon how long your guys are going to be playing, is that you may need an external battery pack or just make sure you can keep it plugged in. But, you mentioned that high contrast mode. Basically, it's going to be white notes on a black background or vice versa, depending upon the lighting conditions. But I'm telling you, this is a solution made for you, 100%. Because this way you can make that size and that contrast exactly to your specification. And by being able to just use your foot to move to the next page on that sheet music, how great is that going to be? Because you're not going to be like, oh, hold on. What instrument do you play?
Well, my main instrument is the alto saxophone.
Okay, yeah, so you can't just put the sax down and go, wait a minute, before we go to this next note, okay, I just need to get to the next page. Now, so you're going to look at, I would, depending upon how big you need that screen, but I think a tablet would actually give you a whole bunch more flexibility as far as being able to find the right stand at the right height. Then you have the adjustable font size, zoom, and again, that Bluetooth pedal. And again, the apps, they have names like Fourscore, Mobile Sheets, it's only on Android, and Newsik. But ask this guy what he's using, and then maybe you can actually try it out before you go buy anything. Okay? Just say, hey, you know what, can I just try out your whole setup for like 10 minutes? That's all you need. Probably even less than that. I mean, you're a musician. You will know in just a few minutes whether or not this is going to be the right solution for you. Because let me tell you, there's nothing like actually sitting down and trying something before you commit yourself and you go full board into it. Hey, Lori, thank you for your call today and best of luck with your eye surgery. I have a feeling it's going to go fantastic. Alrighty, let's switch gears a little bit. It seems like every other day there's yet another car recall. I mean, Toyota and Honda and Tesla. I mean, every year, millions of recalled cars, they just don't get the fixes that they need. So how about an easy way to track if your car is actually recalled? What I want you to do is grab the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration's free Safer Car app. Again, it's called Safer Car. You just add your vehicle, put in your VIN number, and include any extras like fancy car seats. Maybe you upgraded the infotainment system or you have some fancy smancy tires. Now, if there's a recall on anything that you've listed, Safer Car is going to send you an alert. It's a great step to keep you in the know and to keep you and your family safe. All right, coming up, the real price of that grocery store discount, as well as we're talking about some email mistakes that you may be making. And of course, we have more of your phone calls, and you have me, Kim Komando. Every time you go to the grocery store, you get that special price because you put in your PIN number, your phone number, whatever it may be. There's a cost with that. I'm going to talk about more of that, as well as we have some great phone calls you don't want to miss. And joining us here on the Kim Komando Show is our amazing content queen, Ali Seligman. Hello there, Al.
Hi, Kim.
So I don't know if you remember this, but 10 years ago, Evan Spiegel, he was the CEO of Snapchat.
Yep.
Okay. And a series of all of his old emails were leaked, and where he said things that were derogatory and insensitive, and they were made during his college days when he was at Stanford. The emails had descriptions of, I'm just going to say what it is.
Okay.
Here's now the CEO
of
Snapchat. And these are things that he wrote when he was in college at Stanford University. Okay.
Uh-oh.
You have to be smart to go to Stanford.
Yes,
Okay.
you'd think.
Okay. I mean, I couldn't get in. Okay. All right. I went to Arizona State University.
Hey, I also went to Arizona State University.
Okay. All right. That's good. All right. Okay. But did you get into Stanford?
Well, I didn't try.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. I tried. I didn't get in. Okay.
You do have to be smart. You're right.
Yes. Descriptions of urinating on women. Okay. Helping friends have sex with intoxicated women.
Well, that's horrific.
Okay. And then, in generally, just making lewd comments about, guess what? Women.
Yeah, saw
and
that
parties.
one coming.
Okay. Now, he had to apologize for these emails that made it surface.
You think?
And he says that they were idiotic and they did not reflect his current views about women.
Oh, that's good. He changed his mind.
Excellent.
That's nice. I bet it's been a really long time since he
Yes.
peed on.
What is that? We don't. You know what? We don't even want to go there.
No, let's not go
Okay.
there. No.
So I know we're talking about email mistakes.
We are.
Obviously, Mr. Evan Spiegel, the CEO of Snapchat, a billion-dollar company, made a few.
He made many, many mistakes, yes. And one of those was probably putting things in writing he didn't want other people to see, right? And that feels like a no-brainer. That's not even on my list because it feels like such a no-brainer. But
really?
Truly,
It's not on your list?
no, but like, think about it.
Yeah.
I think with your work email especially, you need to always act as if someone else could read your emails. Not necessarily because they do, but they could. Right? And it happens all the time for different reasons. Say you leave a job and someone else needs to get access to your inbox because they need to contact someone or, make sure nothing falls through.
Right.
They're going to see that email you sent about what a jerk you are, right?
It is. And everything is permanent. See, sometimes, now I don't think it's so much with email. I think we've learned our lesson.
Yeah.
But it's also with texting.
Oh, for sure.
And,
Screenshot.
Yeah. And some DMs or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
Okay. So our first rule is just remember whatever you put in writing can come back to haunt you.
It sure can. Let's tackle this big one because BEC attacks, that's business email compromise, are huge right now. Truly. $2.7 billion lost to these last year. A successful one of these attacks on a business, the average money lost, $125,000.
That's a lot.
It's a lot of money. So this is big stuff. And one of the easiest things you can do is when you open an email, you know how, okay, I get an email from you and it says Kim Komando. You have to click that little box to drop down and see what the actual email address is. It is astounding to me how often people don't do this because, yeah, I get it, right? We're busy. We're going through the course of our day. But sometimes, say I get something from Kim Komando, I click that box and I see it's actually Bruce746 and
at
Bruce
Hotmail.
Exactly. And Bruce at Hotmail is the one who wants the gift cards, not Kim Komando. So always check that email address. I know it's a basic one, but so many people fall for this stuff. So please don't be that person.
Yeah, it's just, and it's also a matter of slowing down, right?
Yes, that's what so many scams are these days and why so many people fall victim. It's not because you're stupid. It's because you're going too fast.
All right, so what do you got next?
If you run a business, I think a huge email mistake is not having a newsletter or at least not having a way to regularly contact your customers.
Yeah, that's true. That's a huge one.
And we've talked about it before. I mean, okay, great. Maybe you have a jewelry business and you have 50,000 followers on Instagram. What happens if Instagram changes all their algorithms and nobody sees your stuff? What happens if Instagram shuts down? Okay, they're probably not going to, but you know what I mean. If you build a huge audience somewhere that you don't own that audience. With email addresses, you do, and you can always contact those people.
And it's not hard to set up. I mean,
oh my gosh, no.
I mean, my sister. I mean, not that she's like the lowest common denominator.
She couldn't even get into Stanford.
Yeah, no. She's a doctor, so I'll give her that.
Okay.
But, she's not the most tech savvy. She would tell you that right now.
Yeah.
I mean, like when you look at her MacBook, the woman must have, I should count. I bet you she has 500 things all over her desktop.
Are they stacked on each other?
Oh, God. And unstacked and unstacked and unstacked.
Oh.
And she uses Microsoft Outlook, and this thing that PSD file is always dying on her. I mean, whatever. But so she has a school. You've heard me talk about her before, and she's fabulous. But, she has found by just using Constant Contact with 2,000 people. That's all she has on her list, 2,000 people, that she has increased her business by, 18, 19%, she was telling me.
That's incredible. And, you hit on a really good point. You don't need a huge list for this. If you have a few hundred customers, great. That is enough, right? You have to start somewhere. And maybe you're not trying to get the whole world. Maybe you're just trying to have a way to really contact the people that interact with you all the time. And that's a way to do it. Yes, there are so many sites for that. MailChimp, Constant Contact, whatever. Also, bonus, these sites know that it is tough to make emails that look nice. And so they do all the work for you. There are templates. They work on phones. They work on computers, everything.
So Constant Contact is what Christine's using. I chose that just because I thought the templates were going to be easier for her to take over. But you can also use MailChimp, and both are free.
Yep. Here's an email problem. Your subject lines stink.
Yep.
This can be whether you send a newsletter, maybe you send a sales email, maybe it's just you're emailing someone for, your cold outreach, right, for your business. It might just be that your subject lines to your boss or your coworkers really stink. I'm thinking of that person who puts urgent in every email and it's not urgent. If you are writing emails that are going to a lot of people, I highly suggest you check out a tool to help you with that because there's some really good stuff out there. I'm not asking you to remember these names because you're not going to, but we will put these in a newsletter soon. So go sign up at getkim.com. Subjectline.com, subjectlinegenerator.com, and OmniSend are all really good options. Essentially, you can plug in your subject line. It'll grade it for you. Some of them you can say, here's the body of my email, kind of the point of the email, write a subject line for me. Of course, you can just use ChatGPT or something like that for it, but these are really focused on email best practices, so I like these ones a little bit more.
I think it's interesting, that survey that we talked about recently, that, we used to have subjects of emails that would be, we'd say, it had to be at least 7 words. It had to be, 10 words, and had to have an action word. Now it's 2 words, that's it.
Yes, and it's great because these tools kind of keep up with those best practices so you don't have to. Most of us are probably going to write an email subject line that is way too long just because that's how the human brain works, but nope, they're going to cut you off and write you something short. Oh, another big mistake. You send out emails and never check on what's going on with them. And I don't just mean the metrics. I mean kind of behind the scenes. So just in the way that maybe you have a website and you use Google Analytics to keep track of how many people are coming to your website and all those stats, Google has another free tool. It is called Postmaster Tools. Again, I'll put this in a newsletter, but it's gmail.com/postmaster. And this is essentially showing what your email reputation is in Gmail's eyes.
So important.
And if you are saying, Allie, we don't use Gmail, no. This is for all the people that you send to that have Gmail accounts, which is probably a big chunk of your list. So many people use Gmail, and it also gives you a better idea. If you're doing badly in Gmail, probably the same for Yahoo, probably the same for AOL, every other, ISP email, all those things.
Now, these are really important. I mean, everything that you passed along, this is the type of info that you can't get anywhere else. I mean, we just kind of break it down, give you some actionable tips that will make a difference in your bottom line. And so that's why you need to sign up for the newsletter. Head over to getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. We're going to put everything that Allie just mentioned right there, because I know you're sitting there going, I tried to write that down. And then, and it's always my philosophy that no matter where you go on the internet, you're going to type something wrong and you are at least, 6 degrees away from some porno site. So
that is true.
So just make sure that you get the newsletter at getkim.com. Great job as always, Al. Thanks for being here.
Thanks, Kim.
All right, still to come, the real price of that grocery store discount, plus more of your phone calls you don't want to miss here on the Kim Komando Show. Hey, AI tools aren't just for me and you. Cyber criminals, of course, are using them too. That's why I use Total AV, award-winning antivirus protection for just $19. Go to protectwithkim.com. Once again, that's protectwithkim.com. All right, back to the calls we go with Tim in Naperville, Illinois. Hi there, Tim.
I have a question regarding some smishing text messages that I was getting on my Android Pixel 7 phone. They were the classic USPS, we have a package for you. Click here, give us all your information.
Of course.
And I'm a listener, so I'm not foolish enough to fall for that. But what was annoying to me was getting the just to notify every day, because I try to limit how many notifies I get on my phone.
Yeah, for sure.
The message would go to my spam folder. The number would be blocked, but every day I'd get a call from a different number in the same country code, which happened to be Thailand. I think it was country code 63. So what I wanted to do to put an end to this game of whack-a-mole that I was playing with all the different numbers was block the entire country code.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't figure out a way to do that on the Android Messages app.
Well, inside the Android Message map is that you can go into settings. And then there's spam protection. Then you can just follow the prompts to enable spam. I'm not sure if they let you block an entire country. For that, you may need, in order to get like a third-party app like Call Blocker or Hiya, Hiya. But I'm really surprised that this is coming in on the Pixel 7 because, boy, I'll tell you, they normally do a bang-up job.
They correctly identify them as spam, and they do go to my spam folder. But because it was a different number every day, I would get a notify every day. And it's just like I limit my notifies. I want, to be notified for legitimate things that I need to pay attention to. But in this case, I trust the Android Messages app. They put them in the spam folder. I don't even want to know about those.
Yeah, I know. I know. I mean, you could also set up Do Not Disturb mode, and this way it only allows messages from your contacts. Again, in the Android app, they do a really good job. That's why I'm surprised. So again, go to Messages, go to Settings, then Spam Protection. Just follow the prompts. And if you can't block it by the country, then Hiya, Hiya, or take a look at Call Blocker. And Tim, thank you for your call today. Robocall's so annoying. All right, Elaine in Hartford, Connecticut. Glad to have you. Hi there, Elaine.
I used to read your column in the Hartford Courant.
Oh, nice.
quite a few years ago, and I stumbled on your newsletter, a little while ago, and it's been very informative.
Well, thank you. Thank you. So how can I help you today?
Well, I follow your advice many times on opening emails and, looking for the HTTPS and looking like it's legitimate, and if not, just calling the company directly. But I got one here for a class action settlement with AMC. And I guess under that umbrella, there's a few other stations, one of which is Acorn, which I do subscribe to. And I can't figure out if it's legitimate.
Well, you know what? It's smart to be cautious. You have to be today. Yeah. I mean, you just can't be Pollyanna out there and clicking and giving people your personal information and saying, well, I'm going to get $50 back from AMC or whatever it is. Mm-hmm. Actually, there is a class action lawsuit against AMC Networks.
There is.
And
about personal information.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, okay.
And then it was like $8.5 million or something like that. They violated data, and that if you had AMC streaming between January 2021 and January 10th, 2024, you're eligible to get a claim by April 9th. I actually am putting this in the newsletter.
Good.
That's why I'm familiar with it, with the exact link on how you can do it. But it does seem kind of sketch that they would actually send an email out to everybody saying,
"Yeah, I know."
It's like you think like they would, I don't know, come up with a better way or have something that wouldn't necessarily, come up in somebody's spam folder at all.
Right. I just got one from Hyundai, but it was in the mail,
Yes, Hyundai. There have been so many car recalls. Oh, my gosh. It seems like every other day.
The security thing.
Yes.
But because I got the actual recall and had it done, so, I can't. I'm not going to get anything from Hyundai about that.
Well, but again, the bottom line here is that it's just good to be cautious. And if you ever have any questions about whether or not something is legit, I'm always happy to help out. Just send it to me over at Komando.com and hit that link that says email Kim. Elaine, thanks for your call today. Imagine if this has happened to you. You're in a car accident, and then suddenly there's a lawsuit. And then in the lawsuit, somebody says, well, apparently you were drunk because you bought so much alcohol at the grocery store. Well, Those are those loyalty cards. Every time you swipe something that you purchased, they're storing that data somewhere, your name, your address, your phone number, your credit, your debit card numbers. And, whether or not that lawsuit can ever happen, it's up in the air, but it is a possibility. So what I do is I use my office phone number as my loyalty number, because you want to make sure that everything that is concerning to you and attached to you, that you want to keep your data as private as possible. Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for joining us. And don't forget to sign up for our newsletter at getkim.com.
Thanks for listening to the Kim Komando Show. Here's hour 4.
$500,000. Oh my gosh, that's right. For that amount of money, you could be one of 6 people to enjoy suborbital travel. That's over 100,000 feet above Earth. I don't think I could do that, to go have dinner. Company by the name of Space VIP, a space tourism company. They got together with a Michelin star chef, a guy by the name of Rasmus Monk, and they crafted this menu for a 6-hour journey above Earth via spaceship Neptune. Okay. This is not really a spaceship. Well, I guess it is. It's a hydrogen-filled space balloon. And then you're going to eat as you watch sunrise over the Earth's curvature. Okay, that would be really amazing. Yes, but $500,000. Wow. I just hope the restaurant has a great atmosphere. Oh, yeah, that was a good one. On that happy note, I'm Kim Komando, America's beloved digital goddess, here with you once again. So thrilled that you're here with me. It's wonderful. And you're about ready to get more tech smarts, because every single thing is now a tech thing. And of course, you can find my award-winning show on over 420 top stations across the United States. And you can get us as a podcast, as a webcast, commercial-free over at komando.com. And by the way, you can also get the show as a commercial-free podcast on Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Just go ahead and search for Komando, of course, with a K, wherever you get your podcasts. And I'd like to thank our sponsor, T-Mobile, for helping to make this show possible. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. And that's right, our T-Mobile unlimited listener line is now open at 1-888-825-5254 is the way to join us. And if you're just too shy to come on a big-time show and podcast, I get that. You can always drop me your questions over at Komando.com. There's a link that says Email Kim. Alrighty, every single day I go to at least 35 or 40 different websites to make sure we're both up to date on what's going on in the techverse. And here are the top 5 things you need to know that's happening right now. And we're going to go back to 1994. That's when automakers first began equipping all cars and trucks with that so-called black box. We were told that it would only collect accident and engine performance data. Well, 30 years later, it's a whole different story. It was just a matter of time before the car manufacturers realized how much money they could make by selling the data in the car's black box. So instead of recording only accident and performance data, today's cars are equipped with something called EDRs. Yes, EDRs, event data recorders. And they keep track of just about everything. It knows when you're speeding, hard braking, rapidly accelerating. It automatically and wirelessly reports everything to data brokers like LexisNexis. And this data is turned into your driving risk score that is sold to your insurance company, which is then going to use this to what? Oh, you're so smart. Raise your rates. So you might be saying, oh, Kim Komando, this is an invasion of my privacy. It is, but it's not illegal. Moving on to number 2, which AI chatbot is the best? I wrote about this for USA Today and the New York Post as I put them to the test, ChatGPT, Google's Gemini, and Perplexity. And I asked 3 to write a note excusing me for my Aunt Sarah's party. And then I also asked them to write a pitch for my new theoretical business. And also, what about a hike? So Gemini won the dinner party with the most thoughtful note, recognizing the effort and love that my Aunt Sarah put into the event. Now, ChatGPT won the business pitch with the most imaginative quotes about the product and all its great benefits. Now, for the hike, ChatGPT laid out all the trails, told me about the history and the best times to go. Now, keep in mind, none of my requests required any medical, legal, or in-depth technical know-how. For that, I don't trust any of them. Moving on to number 3, EVs. We just don't want them. So guess what? The government is starting to crack down. The government has decided that we have no other choice and force is necessary. The Biden administration is ready to go with new, harsher and auto emission standards. So for the next 3 years, to help stimulate an ailing EV economy, Washington is going to relax emission standards just a little bit. But by 2027, the push is going to hit hard, really hard. Only 30% of all vehicle sales can be gasoline powered. Now, let me tell you something. If they really want us to buy EVs, they have to make them better. That has to have a longer range. We need to have actual recharging stations where we want them and need them. So if the automakers know that within 36 months, this is my point, we're going to be forced to buy an EV anyway, they have no incentive to make any changes. So we're just going to lose all around. This coming in at number 4, what qualifies as high-speed broadband? ISPs are doing their best to sell the most expensive high-speed broadband access plan to everyone. So it's the question, how fast does it have to actually be high speed? So there was a time not too long ago when a 25 megabit line, that was fast, but not anymore. For the first time in 9 years, the FCC's annual high-speed internet assessment has revisited the speed issue. Guess what they say? You don't have a high-speed internet connection unless you're getting at least 100 megabit downloads and at least 20 megabits uploading. But really, think about this. 1 gigabit lines are now routinely available to so many homes. I'm surprised that the FCC considers 100 megabits fast, really. So bottom line here, always get the fastest line that you can afford. And finally, this coming in at number 5, ready or not, planning for summer vacation time is here. But there's one destination that we're just not going to be choosing anymore. You ready for it? Airbnb and Vrbo. They're just done. And they really only have themselves to blame. I mean, we're just kind of fed up. We're done with all the stories about the creepy hosts, the hidden spy cameras, inaccurate descriptions, terrible Wi-Fi, dirty places. So to show you how Airbnb shot itself in the foot, only now are to believe that they're banning indoor cams on properties after years and millions of complaints. Hotels are back bid time. Now, the losers here are not only Airbnb and Vrbo investors and shareholders, but so many people counted on rental income from a second home to just last forever without giving any thought to what was really happening in the real estate marketplace and with Airbnb and Vrbo. So what this means to you is that if you have some extra cash laying around, you might be able to pick up a rental property at a really sweet deal. So you might just want to keep that in mind. You know, speaking of, my friend used to run a hotel, but now he runs an Airbnb. And I asked him if, changes and what's going on has given him any new challenges. And he said, no, Kim, it's entirely in keeping. Oh, yeah, I heard you growing with that. All right, coming up, we have some great calls that you don't want to miss. We're going to talk about how to blur your home on Google Maps and what's going on with the birds and your apps and phones. It's really kind of a fun story. And then really, on the important side, how to know the best voice commands for in times of emergencies. And of course, you got me. You never want to miss. I'm your buddy. I'm your pal. I'm Kim Komando. All right, let's see who's up first. How about Jessica in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania? Hi there, Jessica.
So I just wanted to say thanks for taking my call. And my mom and I are big fans, and we get your newsletter every day. And we love all the information that you give everybody out there. So thank you.
Thank you.
But so what I called about was I have been getting these scam emails, and they're kind of concerning to me because I've gotten, I think, 3 or 4 of them so far, and I actually just got one the other day. And I like to check all of my emails, and I go through them, and of course, a lot of them's junk, and I don't even open them, and I just delete. Well, these kind of got my attention because they all sort of started the same, and they said greetings, and I was just like, I know these are scam emails, but I want to read them anyway and see what they say.
Sure.
And maybe I shouldn't have done that, but I didn't click any of the links or anything on them, but I did open them. So basically, all of the emails say almost the same thing, and they just say that there's some hacking group called APT, and that they have gained access to all of my devices that I've been logged into my email on. They've logged into my email, and whatever devices I've been using, they have access to those. And then this person said on all of them, all those emails said that they purchased email accounts, including mine, and that's how they got access to log into my email and everything. And this last email said, and the other emails didn't mention this, but this last email did. So I wanted to ask you about this. It said something called the Cobalt Strike Beacon.
I don't know what it is. What are they saying?
They're just basically saying that they have downloaded all of my information, all of my data and everything, videos, social media, chat history, everything like that, and put this virus in. And
don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
The thing that I'm mostly concerned about, I guess, is that they say that, and this is not true. It says that I go to these adult websites and they have videos of me on these adult websites or something, and that they're going to send them.
You know what?
To everybody.
Jessica, it's all extortion. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So, because they're going to ask you for a couple of $100 or however much it is in Bitcoin, and
Bitcoin. Yes.
Okay. And so, because otherwise they're going to release all these naked picture videos of you, because that's what you do every night, and then you're going to get all embarrassed in front of your family members and friends unless you pay.
Yes.
Okay. You know, here's the deal. Okay. They're playing the odds. Okay, because, you know, there's a lot of people who hang out on the porn sites. Okay.
Yes.
Right.
Not me.
So when they're hanging out on the porn sites, they figure, okay, if we send this out to millions of people, you know, there's probably going to be a good percentage back who's going to say, oh crap, ooh, that's going to be bad. I'll send you the money. I mean, what's $500? And they're not going to send it. Okay. So, you know, is it a bad thing that you looked at the email as long as you didn't click anything? But I will tell you, by you opening the email, just opening that email, there's a secret beacon inside that email that just went back to those people. It said, oh, this is a good email address. This is a valid email address. So we're gonna put her on a list. So we're going to sell her email address to somebody else because we authenticated that email address. So now you're going to get even more of this garbage. So I know it's tempting to look. I know it is. Okay. But, you know, you're better off just like, all right, you know what? I don't need to look. I got more important things to do, right? I mean, so, you know, if it's in the junk folder, odds are it's a pretty good sign. It used to be, you know, years ago, you'd want to check your junk folder because, you know, maybe you were missing something. But today, the spam filters are so good that it's not like really legitimate mail is going to end up in the spam filter with a high percentage anymore. It just doesn't really happen. So, Jessica, just go on and move forward and then just delete all that spam and junk, and you don't need to look at it. And then, you know, my advice is too, like if somebody really wants to get a hold of you, if it's that important, okay, they're not just going to email you. They're going to text and call you too. So I wouldn't be worried about like not finding out that you just won $1 million in the Publishers Clearinghouse. Jess, thanks for your call. I know. You want to look, but you just can't. All right. Let's see who's up next. Wayne in Orlando, Florida. Hi there, Wayne.
Well, I travel some, but you have convinced my wife that we have to have a separate computer to handle all of our financial tax type paperwork that's not connected in any way to our other computer systems.
Okay.
And what I'm looking for is a strong recommendation. We have a lot of Apple computer within the house, but I'm looking for what a good laptop is that maybe isn't extremely expensive, but will secure what we need.
And so do you guys feel like that you would fall prey to some type of scam that may be out there?
Well, I'm not going to say yes to that. But at the same time, everything on the news you read about is somebody scamming or breaking into the bank or some other financial facility, government facility that gives out pertinent key information.
Yeah, it does seem like that, doesn't it? It's kind of crazy. You know, there's a couple of thoughts. Number one is you could find a used Apple laptop, but boy, that's going to cost you $1,000. You know, definitely not inexpensive as you said that you'd like. You know, what we can look at is either a beefed up Chromebook, but at that price, you might as well just buy a nice Dell laptop. And you can pick up a 15-inch Dell with a nice Intel processor, or, you know, of course, has all the bells and whistles with Windows 11. And then you're going to pair that with some good internet security software like Total AV and Protect with Kim. And it's probably going to run you about $400. Does that sound realistic?
Well, that sounds better than a used Apple.
Yeah, I think so too. Because then you're looking at a used Apple, which, they last a long time. Don't get me wrong. But, when it comes time to, really have that extra computer, and the whole thought behind the extra computer is that if you click the wrong link or if you go to the wrong place, that all of a sudden it just doesn't open up everything. It's the way we have it set up here at everybody who does all the financial records here at the studio. So hang on the line, Wayne. We'll send you a link to this Dell computer. And thanks for your call. If you do need that internet security software like you do for that Windows machine, make sure you head over to protectwithkim.com. Once again, that's protectwithkim.com. It's like $19 for the first year. Again, that's protectwithkim.com. Oh, Wayne, be sure that you tell your wife I said a big hello and thank you, and that she is just so smart. She's not only smart for listening to me every single day, like you said, but she's super smart because, Wayne, she married you. That's right. All right, let's go ahead and pass along a great tip. More and more Americans are just using buy now, pay later. They've got the names like Klarna, Affirm, and even Apple will spread the cost of what you're buying to smaller chunks that you can pay over a few weeks or even months. It's kind of like the modern old school layaway plan. Now, in 2023, it's going to be so much higher this year. 88 million people used BNPL. That's buy now, pay later on their purchases. So is it the right choice? Is it the best choice for you? Yeah, making smaller payments can make larger purchases just kind of feel more manageable. And this is certainly an option if you don't have any credit cards and you can't get credit. But here's the deal that you have to know. Buy now, pay later. These apps and these services are not regulated like credit cards, at least not yet. You want to check the fine print for sky-high interest rates. I mean, I did some research and I found some fees up to 36%. Oh my gosh. Or even 25%. Now, Apple just announced that they're going to be reporting their buy now, pay later purchases, so it actually shows up on your credit report. So once Apple does it, the other ones are sure to follow. So you just have to remember, if you can't afford it now, you probably just can't afford it later. So I know it's so tempting because wherever you check out, it says, oh, do you want to split this into equal payments? And you're like, yes, that would be fabulous. Just say no. Hey, speaking of, you might be wondering, what happens if you don't pay? What happens if you don't pay? Well, of course, now I mentioned it's going to go on your credit report. Apple has said publicly that if you use their buy now purchase plan and you just don't pay, that you'll never, ever, ever be offered it again. That's just the bottom line. Because it's kind of like instant credit, really. Just because as soon as you say buy now, pay later, I mean, nobody's going to run a credit report. Well, not yet. This is all changing so quickly. All right, still to come, we have some tips on how to use your phone to identify birds. Because it's springtime, you're going to love this. And of course, we have more of your great phone calls and more of me, Kim Komando, and some great tips that you never want to miss here on The Kim Komando Show. Hey, in case there's ever an emergency, you need to know certain voice commands, not just for you, but for members of your family and also your circle of friends. I'm going to be passing some things along because I know you're that super smart person in your family. So I want to make sure that you know all these commands and you can also spread the word. All right, before we go back to all of your phone calls, let's talk about your home on Google Maps, because anyone with a phone or computer can actually see where you live. I mean, with an address in Google, it just takes a second to scope it out, right? Now, what if you don't want this? Well, here's a security pro tip to secure your home from cyber creeps. You know, Google Maps Street View, I love it. It's great when you're lost, or maybe you just want to hunt down a building or a gas station, but it also has a privacy liability. Here's the reason why. Thieves and stalkers can peek outside of your house remotely with its 360 cameras. They don't even get out of their house. They don't have to get it out of their cars. So there's a little known trick you need to know. You can actually blur the photo of your home in Google Street View. Here's how. You want to go to this special address, maps.google.com. Once again, that's maps.google.com. And you want to put in your address in the search bar and press enter. And then that's where you're going to see Street View. Now, here's where you need to look. At the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you're going to see a little box that says report a problem. It's really, really small, not by accident, trust me, but it's there. So another screen is pop-ups. And then that's where you can request to blur your house. You can also adjust the size of the image to fit anything else that you like out of Street View. So like just a couple of seconds, you might get your privacy back. Might. Not 100% sure, but you can do it. Once again, that address is maps.google.com. And then in the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, tap report a problem, and then just go ahead and follow the prompts from there. All right, moments away from another great tip you don't want to miss. But let's see, Bernie in Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin. Hi there, Bernie.
Well, thank you very much. The weather here is not quite as warm as what it is where you are, but it will be spring tomorrow, they say, but we have snow coming on Friday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
I just want you to know I enjoy reading your newsletter every morning, and I always find at least something that gets me to go look at my accounts and my equipment just to check things over a little bit.
Oh, that's awesome. Thanks, Bernie. Thanks for those kind words. What's going on?
Well, back around Thanksgiving time, we had both our credit card and our debit card get compromised. And once we got all that settled with the bank and the credit card issuer and all that, decided it was time to maybe look at security. So resetting passwords, setting up the two-factor verification, and so on. Now, back in the days when I had maybe only a dozen different sites that I looked at, yeah, it was probably a naughty thing to do to have the same password for all of them, but I've changed that. And one of the things I've noticed as I'm working on passwords is when you want to change them, that Google sets up a little thing of suggested passwords.
Sure.
And, they're always a big jumble with capitals and small case letters, numbers, symbols, and whatever. And I'm just wondering if those are okay to use.
Sure. I actually think it's a good idea to use those. I use whenever Apple generates a password for me, I do that myself because it does come up with a whole mishmash of characters, doesn't it? It's like numbers, upper, lower case, hyphens, and, gang signs, whatever it may be in there. You're like, whoa. And it makes it really difficult for brute force attacks in order to kind of crack that password. And it also makes every password unique for every single account, which is, the fundamental security right now. And it's automatically saved into your password manager, Google's password manager, or the iCloud keychain, which does encrypt it. It gives it accessibility across all your devices. And so you might be saying like, okay, so what's the downside to this, right? What's the downside? Yeah. The downside is that you're relying on one ecosystem. So if you ever switch from Google, if you ever switch from Apple, is that you're like kind of out of luck because you have all your passwords saved there, right? I mean,
yeah, true.
So you're going to have to redo all the passwords, and then that's why it's advisable to use a password manager. We have a brand new sponsor called Keeper Security, and it's a darn good. It's only like $1.50 a month or something like that. And it generates passwords for you, gives you those master passwords. And also, it becomes an easy way, too, when you want to share a password, maybe maybe even mention like where your passwords are in an estate type of plan and good things like that. So if you feel comfortable using Google, you're going to stick with them forever, then, I don't see any problem with that. But if you're looking for more flexibility, more choice, don't want to be tied to big tech, head over to keepersecurity.com/Kim. Great password manager for business as well as family and single use. And again, they're giving a great deal. It's like 50% off. Bernie, thanks for your kind words about the newsletter. If you're not already getting it, make sure that you sign up now over at getkim.com. Once again, that's getkim.com. All right. Is your daily walk getting a little bit boring, and it's springtime and you hear all the birds? It's been estimated there are over 10,000 different bird species, each with their unique sound. So in case you're sitting there walking around saying, like, I wonder what kind of bird that is. I mean, yeah, they have different calls for everything that they do. I don't know if you know this, like, where they're located, what time of day it is, even when they're, doing the wild thing. But thanks to modern technology, there's a great free app that helps you identify different bird species through a picture or through their chirps only. It's called Merlin Bird ID. It's from the Cornell Lab of Ornithology. Merlin Bird ID. Once again, Merlin Bird ID. With it on your phone, you identify birds by answering a few simple questions, snapping a photo, or maybe just recording a bird sound, and then you get real-time suggestions. It's actually a lot of fun. And so if you have never tried this, put it on your phone, your device, just, give it a shot. Again, it's Merlin Bird ID. All right, still to come, we have some more of your phone calls, as well as a really important tip at the end about voice commands that you need to memorize just in case of emergencies here on the Kim Komando Show. So, do you want $500? Do you? I mean, I want to give you $500. Yes, that's it. I mean, I'm just going to give you $500. So how do you get this $500? You just have to go to one place, winfromkim.com. Once again, that's winfromkim.com. And that's where you enter to win this $500 Amazon gift card. So you might be sitting there saying, oh, come on, Kim, there must be some big gotcha. It's not a big gotcha. You just get one issue of my free newsletter. That's it. In your email box. That's all. Not going to sell, lease, distribute your email address to anybody ever, by the way. And if you don't like it, you can unsubscribe. I make it that easy. It's one click to unsubscribe. So again, so where do you go? Winfromkim.com. Winfromkim.com. That's where you can enter to win a $500 Amazon gift card. Let me tell you, you should do it right now because everybody can use $500, right? Yes. Winfromkim.com. All right, back to the phones we go with Marty in Atlanta, Georgia. Hi there, Marty.
Oh, I got hacked back in December of last year on Facebook, and he got all my info. He got my password and everything, and he used my account and my profile to reach out to any friends that I couldn't get in contact with at the time. And he's trying to scam them, and I'm trying to get this account deleted, and don't know how to go about doing it. Facebook itself has really been no help to me.
Oh, my gosh. Say that's not true, Marty. Really? The company that cares about every single one of their customers? That one?
Yeah, that's the one.
So how do you think you got hacked?
Oh, I walked into it.
Well, tell me.
I had a senior moment. We were at a party, and we were in the middle of judging a contest, and I got a instant messenger text from a friend of mine that I've known for years, asking me to help him out. He was stuck and he needed some codes to get back online. I didn't think anything of it, and I gave him the keys to the front door, and then I realized that I was hacked, and it was too late. He'd already changed my password and changed my profile, so that was on me. That's never happened before, and it's humiliating to think that I walked into that.
Yeah.
I did.
Well, I'm glad that you admitted it. I mean, sometimes I ask people the question like, oh, Kim, I have no idea how that happened. I'm like, yeah. But you know what?
I walked into that.
So everybody, you need to be careful. Stop giving out some codes, okay? Right?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so first of all, I'm sure you already went to the Facebook page and said, I've been hacked, right?
Right.
Okay. And if that didn't do the magical trick, then what you need to do is invite your family members and friends to report your page. And the more people that you can report it as fake and impersonating, that's the more attention that you're going to get from Facebook. Unfortunately, it always astounds me that we have this major corporation here in the United States, headquartered in the U.S. And of course, they have customers all around the world, and I get that. But from this major corporation, a public company, that we as a society have accepted the fact that we cannot get help from them. Okay. Even though they profit from us, even though they sell our data, they start feeding us more data and everything along the way. For some reason, we think like, oh, it's a tech company. Why should they actually have a phone number? Why should they have a phone number? Okay. I mean, imagine if that was the airlines. Could you?
Oh, my gosh.
People they would go ballistic. What do you mean I can't call American or United Airlines? Nope. You got to fill out a form and fill out that form and just sit and wait for somebody to maybe by the luck of God respond to you. It just doesn't work. The other thing that you can do, Marty, is go over to Facebook's social media account, on Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, and complain over there. I have a link that we're going to send you. I'm going to put you on hold. I'm sorry that you have to go through all this. I'm going to put you on hold. And then when I do, Amber's going to give you a link that you can share with your family members and friends about how